All right.
Welcome.
Oh my goodness, there's Mike. Okay, so I'm hoping that everybody can see me and somehow found their way to the new stream for this video for the full moon in Gemini. Thank you guys for sticking through this and kind of being here and helping us through the process. If you are not able to get the link, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it myself. So I'm trying to see if I can pull this up live. Looks like it started a couple seconds ago. Let's take a look here. Hold on one second. All right. So this does not look like it is the right one. So let me go back. All right, so I'm just gonna kill a little bit of time because I'm wondering who's watching? Who's watching? Bear with me, you guys. I'm trying to get a link. This is the full moon in Sagittarius video. So, all right, give it a couple minutes. I think some of you guys are actually still in the other chat. So I'm gonna hang out here for just a minute. Those of you guys who are tuning in are probably getting ready to fast forward through this, so give it just a second. See if I can find this bad boy. Live now. Let's see who's all watching. We gotta take off the old video, guys. Sorry. Bear with me. Seems like we're getting ready to get a link so we can watch it, so we can see what's going on. Oh my gosh, this has been crazy. Here I am. Hi, guys. Hi. Hopefully people are able to find this. I apologize. It's not even like, it's like not even Mercury retrograde. I don't know what's going on, but in the words of Mike, it's the evil forces. It's the evil forces. I don't know if I believe in that so much right now. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to get onto this stream. We're actually having people that are sending the link to the other chat. So I'm starting to see people showing up. It looks like everybody's getting here. I don't know what it is when I do live streams. I really don't know what it is, but you know what? That's what happens when you go live. Stuff happens. So thank you guys. We're now at 30. I'm seeing your likes. The chat is awesome. You guys are awesome. I love you guys so much. And I'm happy to be back. Thank God for the person we have on the other end of this stream helping me out so this can be made possible right now. Thank you guys. I see you. Maybe I just have too much energy. I don't know. I'm still giving everybody just a couple minutes to show up. I appreciate you sending the links to other people if other people are watching. I appreciate your thumbs up. I'm seeing those thumbs up. Help us out. Let's get those thumbs up because we're going to take our sweet, sweet time having a chat about the full moon in Sagittarius. And yes, guys, I'm going to give it all to you. We're going to talk about what's going on with the transits. I am going to be pulling cards and talking to you guys and interacting with you live to give you an idea of what you can be expecting with this very powerful, very lucky, very positive new moon, that's full moon, excuse me, that's going to be showing up on Friday in just a couple of days here. So we're already kind of getting into that full moon energy. I see all of you guys. Thank you for coming back. What's up, everybody? Happy to be here and doing some good work with the Peace Stealer, working for him and his new channel and getting everything with Mystic Illuminations up. Finally came back out of hiatus after about a month of, I think, experiencing and dealing with my own transits and kind of scorping out. So it's really nice, and I'm really appreciative. I've gotten some emails and some messages and some stuff from you guys asking me where I am. So I'm back, don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. I am here to stay. So let's start to get to chatting about what we can be expecting with some of these transits. How's everybody feeling, first of all? Because I'm liking what's going on in June. So let's just start with that. I mean, I feel like this is the first month, really this year, where we're starting to now integrate a lot of the work that we have been doing. Integrating all of the work from the fire trine that we had, the nodal changes that we had. We're surviving the Mercury, the Venus retrograde, surviving that Jupiter-Uranus opposition. So really everything that's out there and the energy that's building is very positive. It's like we're starting to come out and the clouds are parting and we can crawl out from underneath our rock. So hi, I see you guys. I see you. Thank you for coming back. I already see you guys asking some questions, which I really like. I'll be able to interact with you and answer some questions. And I also want to talk to you guys about some new things that I'm going to be doing and get some feedback on what you think about that. But, like I said, coming into June, it's like all of a sudden this chaotic energy, especially I feel like since the nodes changed into Aquarius and Leo, we are starting to really be able to integrate that, Saturn, North Node, Uranus trine. And we're going to start seeing that all of the lessons we've been learning in the past 3 months, it is now going to start being implemented. And I think part of that also is this is a full moon that is partnered up with Saturn. Now, it's not exactly conjunct. It's within a couple degrees. I'm going to pull my chart up here in a second. But, Saturn has been in Sagittarius since the beginning of 2015. So we're seeing that this is really the last full moon we're going to get with Saturn in Sagittarius. This is like year 3, the final countdown, anything that's coming together now, even though during full moons, these are cultivation periods where we're looking at giving appreciation, wrapping things up, finalizing things. This full moon is a little different. I don't see this as a full moon that's about endings. This is not about endings, guys. This is actually about where your spiritual path is going, what you're wanting to be starting. You're going to be thinking, what, loose ends can I be tying up so that way I have the ability to start these other new projects? Because not only is Saturn involved in this, as is the North Node, which is the destiny point, as is Uranus, that has to do with quick fire energy, thinking on your feet. Obviously, we had to do that at the start of whatever was going on with this stream. Some excellent connections that we have. We're looking at the full moon in Sagittarius hitting at 18 degrees. So those of you guys who have planets in Sagittarius, within about 3 degrees of that, so anything from 15 to about 21 degrees Sag, you're going to feel it, okay? You guys are going to feel it. It'll be hitting June the 9th at 6:09 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, like I said, Saturn is involved in this because Saturn currently sits at 24 degrees. So it's not right on top of the moon, but it certainly is close. And with every full moon, we have a sun and a moon opposition. So the sun is actually sitting currently in Gemini. And so Gemini is the ruler of the 3rd house. It has to do with short distance travel, practical learning, early education, communications. I mean, a lot of what Gemini is getting is just all information. It's information, it's data, it's what we're receiving. It's very social. And with the moon in Sagittarius, they are opposing each other and bringing both of these topics, the 3rd and the 9th house, together, and we're integrating the work that is happening from the solar energy being in Gemini and how it is being able to help us wrap things up with 9th house issues. Some of you guys are starting to kind of put the final touches on, finishing an education, completing a diploma, finishing a program, also looking at, getting some sort of achievement or some sort of completion in what you're understanding about your connection to God. The 9th house is the connection to source. So with that being said, we also see a couple other things that are a little bit bumpy. They're not entirely too terrible, but currently Black Moon Lilith, transiting Black Moon Lilith, is sitting conjunct the moon at the time of the full moon. So you're going to see that there's going to be some stuff that's coming up that has to do with our shadow selves. And what I think about Black Moon Lilith is almost the part of ourself, our shadow self, that we're not looking at, or that we're not, really integrating it, or maybe something that we're afraid of. And so if there's any fears that you guys want to let go of, remember the ruling planet of Sagittarius is Jupiter, then it can expand to the point where it can be released and it can let go. We're also seeing that, Neptune, transiting Neptune is in Pisces. And so it will be squaring some stuff that we've got going on during the full moon. It's going to be squaring the sun. It's also going to be squaring the moon in Sagittarius. We have a pretty tight Chiron Saturn square. So one of the big things that I'm going to say to you guys is do not overlook what's going on with physical health issues, emotional health issues. Your physical health is important at this time. When we see a Saturn square Chiron, it can be about physical, emotional, spiritual health. It's about anything that cannot be ignored that could potentially be detrimental. So when we think about everything that goes on in a physical sense, and when we have, physical manifestations, illness, everything really starts with what's going on internally. So yes, you can suffer from various health issues, but this is about finding the core. I think with Saturn and Black Moon Lilith being there, it's kind of saying this is not going to be providing you with the spiritual foundation that you need, so it needs to be released. So if we are kind of dealing with some of these interpersonal shadow topics, shadow issues, demons, then it's time to release it and allow it to complete at this time. So sit on that, let it marinate for a little bit. We see that Pluto is also in a sextile to Sagittarius, which isn't terrible, but it is bringing up whatever is aggravating or whatever doesn't belong in our life right now. So if there's something that you're looking at and going, this is not me. This is not, I don't want to participate in this anymore. It's detrimental to my spiritual growth. It's detrimental to me being able to have higher knowledge. It's detrimental to my spiritual soul connections. Then now is the time to be like, okay, we're just going to let this fade away. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to see, I acknowledge it, but I also realize it isn't until I come full force with it and really look it in the eye and go, this isn't making me better. That's how you're going to see things are going to transform. Hi guys, some of you guys are still getting here. Thanks for watching. Let's get to the positive stuff, guys. Let's get to the positive stuff. Here's the good stuff. Oh my gosh. I want to get a big hell yeah, because Jupiter goes direct later in the day on Friday. And so this is huge because Jupiter is the ruling planet of Sagittarius. So it's been several months that Jupiter has gone retrograde in the sign of Libra. So this is especially good for Libras and Libra rising. This is especially good also for air signs. And here's the reason why. We're going to see that it's going to be playing very nicely. Jupiter will be trining the sun in Gemini at the time of the full moon and sextiling the moon in Sagittarius. So we see an opportunity for everything to go bing, bing, bing. All of a sudden, the positive energy is just going to open. And it's almost like you've had your foot on the brake and the car is in drive and you go from full brake to full gas. So everything is going to shift very quickly. So with this full moon, which is odd because I usually don't tell people to manifest necessarily on the full moon, but this is if you want to, start a new business, if you want to start a new endeavor, if you want to plan a new trip, It's all about where we're going. Then, and this is consistent, this has been happening, but the support of Uranus and that being in Aries, trining the North Node in Leo, playing well with Saturn, all of the sudden changes, all of those aha moments, all of those direct connections, those messages we get from source in a Sagittarian way, church, temple, studying, it's everything that opens us up to the higher knowledge, the connection is really what's going to lead us and support us. I'm so excited. I'm usually not in this much of a good mood, so I don't know what's going on. And Venus is in Taurus. Currently, Mars is in Cancer. So what we saw recently at the beginning of the month is many planets are now changing signs. We see that Venus in Taurus will be sextiling Mars in Cancer. So we have Venus in Taurus. It's so happy there. That is the ruling planet for Taurus. And so our focus is on stability, on solidarity, on what is productive. We see with Mars in Cancer, although that's a little bit of a weird place to have it in a water sign, you guys forget Cancer is a cardinal sign. So this is showing us that the sudden messages and ideas that we get, as long as it's coming from a heart center and realizing that in order to have stability in our physical sense, we also need to be looking at our emotional stability and how we're nurturing ourselves. And guess what, guys? It's a full moon, so I'm going to say it again. Sometimes it's about saying, no, this does not serve me. No, this is not my path. And I really want to stress the fact that this is the last full moon we get with Saturn and Sagittarius. Next year, y'all, it's going to be Capricorn, and it's going to get real. It's going to get really real. I was looking earlier at the original stream, and there were some people in there talking about who has Saturn and Capricorn. I was reading that. There are quite a few of us who are already starting to feel the pressure. I don't care if you're on your first or your second Saturn return, be that in Sagittarius or be that in Capricorn. We are now getting to like almost the bridge where Sag is getting ready to pass that baton off to Saturn and Capricorn to continue the good work. But remember, Saturn is still retrograde. So when there is a planet that's retrograde, what it's reminding us and what it keeps saying is go back over what you did. Review what you have learned. Go back to your superiors. Go back to your teachers. Go back to your spiritual coaches, your life coaches. Go back to anyone who has been helping you through this process or anything that really provides you with the foundation that you need. And so I like the matchup of seeing what's going on with the Saturn retrograde, because it's allowing us to really complete things before moving forward in a couple of months. I see Pisces Princess, Neptune retrograde approaching. Yes, it is approaching, and we're also going to see that there are still going to be some funny stuff that's going to be going on between Neptune and between Saturn. So it's not over quite yet, guys. It's going to go on for a little bit longer. Some themes connected with Sag, and I know that I've kind of rambled about this a little bit, but any which way you want to connect with source, any which way that you want to be looking more into education or foreign travel, like I said, I feel like this is the full moon that's making us feel like, oh my gosh, maybe anything is possible. Anything can be possible. So you're going to be seeing and you're going to be noticing that there is going to be almost like a more joyous kind of, open-minded, open heart-centered situation. But I do want to remind you guys to certainly take a look at what's going on. The one thing that makes me a little bit iffy, and we've seen a couple of these already with Saturn, but is that Saturn-Chiron square. And so, Chiron is in Pisces. And so basically with that being set up, we're looking at anywhere where we are being self-sacrificial, where we are not taking care of ourselves, where we are not falling into alignment with what's best for us. And Pisces can be so magical and so spiritual and so positive. But really, when we get down to it, it's still 12th house matters. It's still the deep subconscious. It's what happens on a soul level. It's what happens in our dreams. It's what happens in meditation. And so this has taken some time, and we're going to see a little bit more of this once Saturn goes direct and goes forward, to see a change in the world where we aren't suffering, okay? And Pisces, it's how, you know, it's institutions. It has to do with also with religions or anything that has to do with some other institutions involving, you know, groups and things like that. But when that squares anything that's going on in Sagittarius, it makes me wonder, how much do we rely on institutions, or how much do we rely on people telling us what's best for us? Is that helping us or hindering us? Are we seeing that we're following too much in alignment with what's in the media? Are we seeing that we're buying in too much to what we should believe, or what we should be doing, or that we should be self-sacrificial for our jobs, our children, our relationships, for everything that we should be doing? Question that during this full moon, because Sagittarius does not care. Remember, they are the hunter. They go directly into the dark of the forest with the lantern, and the only thing they have to guide them is their internal light and the stars. And so when you depend on that, and I hear so much talk about, you know, what's going on with light workers and what light workers are doing versus what they should be doing. I have like a public message for everybody. Everyone is a light worker. You don't need to earn that title. We are born with that. We are born with the connection to spirit, to source, to whatever it is that you believe in. We keep that in our bodies. So who are institutions to tell us, or particular religious groups, or particular groups in general, what we should or should not be doing? This square asks you, are you being too self-sacrificial in your relationship? Are you giving too much in terms of something that is not speaking true to your heart? Are you sitting in a relationship that is not allowing you to live a very divine life that is connected to your higher self? Or are you ignoring that calling? And so please, for God's sakes, use this full moon with the retrograde Saturn to do the healing, the nurturing that you want, to believe in magic, to believe that anything is possible, because Uranus and the North Node, they support it. Saturn supports it. And we're going to be able to take whatever magical ideas that are happening, are cultivating at this time, and move forward. I want to know, those of you guys, I always say I love astrology, but I like to do astrology for astrology peeps, okay? And for everybody. But I love being able to just be all nerdy with you guys and be able to talk about degrees and stuff. But my question is there anybody out there, or who's watching this, if you want to comment or if you want to say something through the chat, who's advanced enough into the astrology world that you're starting to create charts for certain situations? Raise your hand up. Because I've gotten so big into looking at when major life events take place and creating a chart for that, guys. Because remember, relationships, businesses, moves, all kinds of things, that is a consciousness, and that can be a chart. So to those of you guys who are potentially looking at starting a business on or around the full moon, that chart is going to have Uranus, Saturn, North Node trine. That's going to have Jupiter direct later in the day on Friday, so you can still kind of work with Saturday. But you see this amazing Sun in Gemini, Moon conjunct Saturn. That means emotional commitment to what you're doing. You may be rethinking a lot of things in your life and realizing, you know, I didn't really realize I wanted to start this business until now. So now I'm going to do the research and I'm going to do what I need to do to get prepared so I can do it for the next lunar cycle. Or I can commit to a relationship now. And even though it's unexpected and maybe perhaps not the best timing, you will see things over the next couple of months between now and August take off like fire. And I don't even mean the next couple of months. Hell, there's going to be another fire trine on 11/11 in November. So think about that, guys, and think about these transits, because when Jupiter goes direct, this is going to be incredibly powerful. Excuse me. It's going to be incredibly powerful. I'm reading what you guys are saying. And you're going to have the opportunity to go forward and to start the beginning processes and steps to make this happen. I see people saying they're applying to schools, starting podcasts. What else is going on? You guys are seeing so much stuff. Houses are being sold, you know, and I talked about this recently with the nodal changes. I'm seeing a lot of people, especially some of the fixed sign placement, who are having a difficult time with this shift, okay? But listen, the North Node is moving into Leo. We are having to move into a place where we are very heart-centered, where we are connected to our inner child, where we are connected to what really drives us, what we're passionate about, what we're so in love with, but in an innocent, creative, artistic way. And with the South Node being in Aquarius, we're moving away from a period of, when it had been in Pisces, of feeling like we have to lose. But I see the South Node having transited Pisces as purging and getting rid of any pain or any sense of you feeling like you were being abandoned or manipulated or being taken advantage of or being hurt. So now the South Node's in Aquarius, so it's pulling in all that yummy karmic energy that has to do with being an independent person within a group who wants to do humanitarian things, who genuinely wants to make a conscious effort to be an individual within a connected group or a connected consciousness for the higher, greater good of the entire universe. Let that sink in for a minute. Now we are able to be supported and find a way to almost fly our freak flag, okay? I see that as Aquarius. And being able to be so independent and so connected. And when I think of that, I think of, hell yeah, I'm connected to my higher self. And that connection may not always be what is acceptable socially. That connection may not fall into alignment with what's popular. And I hate to break it to you guys, as much as I love my friends and I have many people I'm so grateful to have in my life, the one thing that you guys are going to be noticing with this longer transit of the nodal changes are successful people, they keep their crew in smaller numbers. I would rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. And I tell that to people all the time. And I'm realizing that in order to be really on the path of being able to have this platform to work with people and inspire people and connect with people, like, we sometimes have to walk part of that path alone. And Saturn and Sagittarius, it's going to help you do that. It's going to help you do that and find the path. So some of you guys may be feeling a little bit disconnected. That's okay. That's okay, because we need to almost be in this very hermit energy where we're looking at things and going, I have to go and find the light in order to, to find my path. I'm reading what you guys are saying. Some of you guys are saying the same thing. I'm glad to hear that, because I would consider myself so much, I guess I go back and forth between an introvert and an extrovert, but I have to tell you, the extent of my extrovertedness I get from doing these videos or through doing my readings. Otherwise, I'm very much an introvert. I'm very, very, very Scorpio-like. So I hope that that was helpful for you guys. I hope I didn't preach entirely too much, but throughout this process, I want you guys to really sit with it and see what comes to you. To those of you guys who do have the opportunity to be working with the element of fire, whether you want to sit and meditate with a candle and set your intentions and really just kind of project everything that could be. People get so hung up in talking about, well, I can't do this and I can't do that and that won't happen. I want to remind you that you are the stories that you tell. You will get in a repetitive cycle of telling yourself the same thing and then wonder why you can't get out of it. I encourage you guys to do this work now. So when Saturn does enter into Capricorn, we have the opportunity to not only have the knowledge and feel complete and feel safe and feel like we can move forward on our own accord without anyone holding our hands, but then we're ready to start rebuilding the structure. Then we're ready to start rebuilding everything that we need to feel ourselves secure. I'm seeing still what you guys are saying about some of you guys feeling a little stuck, but trying to launch things. And, you know, there's so much fast moving energy right now that we do have to kind of sometimes take time to center and ground and focus more so on what do I want? What do I need? So listen to what's coming from you guys internally. Listen to the messages that you get. Look for the magic everywhere, because that short period of time when Jupiter is direct, it's like, oh my goodness, I would want to have that in a business chart. I would want to have that in a relationship chart. It's going to make things so much stronger, better, powerful, lucky. You guys have no idea. So I'm very excited. I'm excited personally to be getting in and doing more stuff around this time, because I know that the energy is just going to flow. It's going to flow, because where your intention goes, where your mind goes, where your words go, everything else follows. And so I think that some of us have already kind of been in this understanding, or some of us have already kind of been in that, you know, way of thinking. I mean, you know, The Secret's been out for some time, and we see stuff that comes up with, you know, Esther Hicks, and talking about the vortex, and all of these different gurus and all of these different platforms that want to talk to us about how we need to manifest to get where we want to go. The first step is the thought. So to those of you guys who are being really hard on yourselves and saying, what if it doesn't work? You know, I don't think it's going to happen. It shouldn't happen. It's not possible. They don't love me. I'm not good enough. I'm not going to make it. But what if you do? So leave room, create more space for that what if it did happen percent in your pie chart that's going on in your mind, and really try to hold space for what could happen, for what is possible, for what is divine intervention, divine connection. Yes, Saturn is no longer at 26 degrees, but it's pretty damn close. It's 24 degrees. It's still conjunct the galactic center point. So if it's so close to that, and let me tell you guys something, it's gonna come back, y'all. It's gonna come back. It's gonna be back here in the fall. It's gonna hit that 26 degrees again. So whenever you're starting to launch now, it will come back in the fall, and it's basically gonna say, okay, you wanted this, here it is. So be very selective with what you manifest. Be very selective with what you ask for. Remember, Gemini gives you the information. If it's something that you're getting into that you don't know a lot about, if it's something that you're faced with where you need more facts, the sun supports that. Go and do the research. Go and buy the book. Go and take the study club. Go and ask the questions. And Jupiter will be supporting that, and it's going to be opening everything up for you to be able to do what you need to do at this time to move forward. That's my speech. Gosh, yeah. I'm seeing what you guys are saying. I'm watching. I'm seeing also we have 222 watching right now. Love those numbers. It tells us that we are certainly in alignment with now taking the next couple steps. So thank you for those numbers, source. I also want to tell you guys, with having all of these planets where they are, this is a very social time. And I think that, you know, I tell people, and I've said this several times, the year that we have Jupiter in Libra, we see more relationships start and more relationships end, I think, than some other major planetary transits. If you guys think back to what happened 12 years ago, Brad and Angelina got together during the last time we had Jupiter in Libra. This time, this year, at the very beginning of Jupiter in Libra, they broke up. And so sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. But now that we've got Jupiter that's going direct here soon, playing very nicely with the sun, I would like to see you guys getting out there and socializing. Go out there and meet people. Go out there and talk to people. You will be learning through other people. And I love, even though it's a sun-moon opposition, I don't care. I love the fact that then after Gemini, any and all of the work that Mars has been doing in Cancer, the sun will show up. So it's going to be happening here very, very shortly. I'm trying to let some of you guys catch up a little bit so that way we can move forward. it's so terrible. You know, we live in a world right now where we make plans and we say we want to do something and we get all excited, and maybe we're even talking about it on a Monday or a Tuesday, and then come Friday, people get kind of flaky and people drop out. And like, I don't know about you guys, but it's like, I've done this and I'll do the victory dance once we find out that, oh no, never mind, plans changed, we're not going to be able to be consistent. This is not the time to be doing that. In fact, I think that those of you guys, whether you're looking for a relationship, a soul partner, a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, girlfriend, if you're just looking for companionship or a partner, this month is going to be very interesting for bringing in some very powerful friendships now, with Jupiter going direct, as well as relationships that are going to be very significant. And those fire trines, I see it as being something that's, you know, literally, it can be divine intervention. This can be, you know, somebody, whoever's up there checking in with us and looking out for us, that is almost, you know, constructing and laying out all of the different which ways that we are meeting particular people that we're supposed to be meeting right now, especially with Saturn hovering around that space. I feel like whether we are conscious of this or not, we are going to be seeing a lot of teachers that are coming up for us at this time, and people who on a karmic level have agreed to show up in your life and teach you a lesson, and vice versa. So don't fight it, guys. You know, don't fight it. Get out of the hermit mode. I know that also with Jupiter going forward, we're going to feel a little bit more lively and a little bit more open, and it's going to play very nicely going into the rest of June, when then whatever social connections that you've been making with Mars and Cancer, then we're going to be seeing that Venus is going to be making its way into Gemini, which will be interesting a little bit later on in a couple of weeks here. And we're going to be able to take all of the different people or all of the different connections that we have made, and then be able to spread the love and be able to, you know, get the information that we need, or hear the divine messages that we need. I think especially with Venus and Gemini, although that can be a little bit dicey, you can be seeing that maybe perhaps you've spread yourself a little thin during this transit, and you have a couple different options, if you know what I'm saying. But nevertheless, I'm very excited to be seeing what's going to be happening, and I hope that you guys are too, because like I said, you know, I don't know about you guys, but just myself personally, I've been seeing so much going on that people are feeling. It's the heaviness. I mean, like literally carrying responsibilities, carrying family members, carrying relationships, carrying stress on top of all of this change. Now this is the month we're going to start to see it release. So very excited, very excited. Woo! Hopefully y'all are still with me. I'm looking at the chat now. I'm seeing what you guys have. Everybody's chatting a little bit about Mike's birthday. Yeah, Mike's birthday is coming on the 11th. He's a fellow 11 like me. You guys. Thank you guys so much. All right, so now that I've done my whole spiel and everything, let's get it going. Let's pull some cards and let's see what each and every one of the individual signs can and will be expecting during this lunar cycle. But before I get to that, something just popped into my mind. I wanted to let you guys know, if you take a look actually on the information page, you can see that if you want to schedule a personal reading with me, you can go to the link that's there at mysticillumination.com. There's also lots of other readers, there's blog posts, there's all kinds of stuff that's there, but you can actually go there and schedule a personal reading with me. With that being said, I'm actually offering a special because I want to start talking to people about what's going on with the lunar transit. So the month ahead lunar transit being giving you the information about the new moon and the full moon for the month ahead. Now, for the next several days between now and the end of the day on Friday, which is the day of the full moon, you guys have 3 days to cash in on this flash sale. So stay tuned. We're going to be getting that service up on the site here shortly. But I personally want to see if I can sit down via Skype or phone with you guys and give you a snippet of the month ahead and what to expect, and how the next new moon and the next full moon is going to be affecting your own personal chart. So you sit with me, we'll chat a little bit and talk about how it's going to affect you and how you can manifest. And to those of you guys who missed my peace talk that I did with Mike the other night, I also am offering a little bit of an extension for my readings. If you purchase a reading and email me to get set up, put in the word magic and you'll get in an extra 10 minutes so I can talk to you about how to set up your own personal ritual depending on your planetary placements and what's going on with the elements of your chart. So let's say you're really struggling and you're saying, you know, Saturn's really kind of just doing a major sideswipe on my love life, or, you know, really blocking me, and I'm feeling like I'm not being able to bring in the money that I need, or I'm not being able to connect with, you know, the soul group that I need, or I'm trying to be better about my habits or about my patterns. I'll take a look at your chart and chat with you for a bit and walk you through a really easy spiritual RX on how to clear that energy or get into your own personal ritual or daily routine to manifest that. So take advantage of that, guys. I don't do that all the time, but hopefully if it's something that picks up, you guys can get a little bit more of it. And I look forward to doing some stuff in the future with you guys and talking a little bit about some rituals. And some of you guys have already seen some of my full moon stuff and my new moon stuff. So stay tuned. But I'm really looking to get into this deck of cards here. So for those of you guys who are ready, I am now going to be doing the predictions for this Sagittarius full moon. And we're going to start with Aries. We're going to start with Aries. So where are my Aries at? Where are they at? Toby, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it takes some time for it to be able to become clear, especially with what's been going on with Saturn, because, oh my gosh, you guys, it's like, I thought Saturn in Scorpio was nuts. I feel like Saturn in Sagittarius, it's not cracking the whip like it does in other signs. I feel like it's really kind of saying, this is how we reroute you and get you on your path and where you're going and what you're doing. Hi guys, I'm seeing what you're saying about the flash sale. So if you guys make a purchase at any time before the end of the day or the evening, we'll put the details in under the special on the actual service page. So we'll give you guys the information. Just wait just a little bit. I've been so hyper. All right, guys, let's take a look. So Aries, everybody got psyched for Aries. All right, everyone. Aries, please, if you guys don't already know your sun, your moon, and your rising sign, do check a birth chart calculator online. All you need is the time, date, and location of where you were born. The more accurate, the better. Check those birth certificates, because it should give you the information, and get it so that way you can take a look, because you want to listen to both your rising, your sun, and your moon. So Aries, this is your 9th house. Maybe perhaps some of you guys are graduating. Perhaps you guys are looking at being able to complete something. I feel like, you know, between what's going on in your 1st house and your 5th house and your 9th house, some evolution of what's going on with you is finally starting to kind of come to the surface, and you're seeing that you're ready to put things out there. You're ready and you have the knowledge that you need to be able to really express your most creative self. So let's take a look. Flash sale. It's going to be $40 for the lunar predictions for the month ahead. After Friday, it's going to go up to $50. So get it while it's $10 off. Let's take a look. Aries. Okay. So for the card that I get is the 6 of Cups. How interesting. How interesting also that you're seeing, Aries, that you've got planets that are going into your 4th. You've got this 9th and 3rd house opposition. It's possible that some of you guys can be really thinking back and like really connecting to, what is my inner child wanting? What is it that I need? What am I going back to? What am I focusing on? What am I thinking about? I'm remembering things from my past that's allowing me to expand and create even bigger, better for the future. This also has a lot to do with a reconciliation, a reconnection, or echoes from the past. So I don't see this as a bad card, actually. I think that this is just allowing you to really connect with what it is that you need on more of an inner child level. I can also see this as perhaps somebody you will be reconnecting with or going and visiting, or wrapping something up and making it possible so you can go and visit them. Maybe perhaps you're also looking at doing some traveling or traveling with children. So definitely review past themes that you have already learned. Apply it, because this is giving you some kind of step, Aries, to what's in the future. So pay attention to this. I'm seeing you guys. You guys are all talking about Reiki and all the Reiki that you're doing. Amazing, amazing. Taurus. Where are you, Taurus? Where are you? Where are you? Taurus. Wow, look at you guys. You guys are getting Venus, getting all spruced up this month. Very interesting what's going on for Taurus, because I love that you've got this full moon in your 8th house. I love that you've got Venus somewhere on or around your 1st house, or maybe even it's on or around your moon or your sun. Certainly feeling very sexy this month. Certainly also looking at having an opportunity, I feel like, to come so much closer, I mean, when you think about this, you've got, Mars that's moving around. It's playing very nicely with that. You might also be looking at dealing with joint finances and being able to deal with joint finances and seeing what's going on, or paying off some debt. Sometimes we see this, especially when it's in the 8th house. But the fact that this is happening in the 8th house, also, I want to remind you guys, it's just, be a little cautious. I think Saturn is reminding you not to overspend. So do not exceed your financial limits, Taurus. I know you like those nice things, but try to look at this as a time where you may be looking at things in a different way and kind of working a little bit differently with your value system, and maybe valuing a physical connection, or appreciating somebody who is supportive, or appreciating someone who has been helping you out, even whether it's emotional, physically, financially. The card that I get with this is the Strength card. So this is very interesting, because it's also talking about to strengthen, I think, and take care of matters. Now, the Strength card is a positive card, but if you look at the lion, okay, she doesn't have him in a cage or a leash or a muzzle. She is literally showing her strength through embracing and loving and accepting. So if you are looking at having to put something to an end, or closing out some kind of, partnership or financial partnership, don't push it. Like, you don't got to push the river on this one. Like, this is something that's going to be able to end on its own and close on its own. So definitely set it free with love, or accept whatever ends up coming in with love. I love this because the planetary ruler of this is the sun, which certainly illuminates the 8th house, which can have a tendency to be a little dark and murky. Venus in the 8th, that's sexy too, guys. I like that. That's really sexy. And it's a really great time also to be talking to people and asking people if you're looking at refinancing something, or financing, a joint partnership, or being able to get a loan. You might be noticing that shortly after that, something kind of comes through for you. So awesome, Taurus. Geminis. Oh, I bet this one's going to make you all squeamish, huh? That full moon in your 7th house of relationships. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Very interesting. Having had, Saturn going through your 7th house for a bit, seeing that all of the energy also is sitting on you. So when you have this situation going on, it's how can you best express your emotions and talk about your feelings, guys. You can be so chatty and so talkative and so loving and so amazing, but don't fear what may potentially have to happen. When I see this full moon, this black moon Lilith, when I see Saturn all showing up somewhere around your 7th house, it's telling me, what fears are you working with? What fears are you allowing to run the show? Don't allow fear to run the show. It can run in the passenger seat. You can be conscious and aware that it's there. But if there are things that need to change, and if that does mean an ending of a relationship, if that does mean, listen, I no longer can continue this, then let it be. Because Saturn is going to remind you that the decisions that you make right now will play into your favor later in the year. So really take a second to sit on that. It's beautiful having watched so many Geminis go through this process of really being able to peel away all of the layers and find that they can be vulnerable and find that they can be open and find that they can actually put some roots down for their relationships. So it's very interesting. Let's take a look at what is going on. Let's take a look. Dropping cards. The King of Wands is the card that I get. I love that. Okay, so this obviously can be a man who's coming in. This can also if you are a man, it's talking about the energy that you're using and what you're doing to use your wand to manifest and create the situation that you want, and direct energy. And this is also like in a very sexual way. So understand that part of this is about, partnership, and it can be romantic or it can be business. Sometimes when I see the King of Wands show up, this can be somebody who's coming in also who's helping you work with a partnership or helping you kind of really start doing the action that is connected for you to be able to complete some kind of understanding in a partnership or in a business. So certainly consider that. He is coming up as a fire sign, so it would not be surprising if he was a Sagittarius. How interesting. How interesting if that's also somebody who, kings are prestigious, they are knowledgeable, they have experience. And so it can be somebody who is also a bit of a mentor who's coming in for you this month and helping, giving you some guidance in career matters or relationship matters. You may get lucky in this one, Gemini, because it may not have to be the ending of a relationship, but you certainly will be evaluating your communication and how to communicate clearly with a partner. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's see. All right. So let's go on now to Cancer. This is your 6th house. Certainly very important for Cancers for their health this month and taking a look at what's going on with their health matters, what they need to be conscious and aware of. Also their patterns and their habits. And so for some of you guys, it's being able to kind of get everything in order so that way you're feeling very comfortable with what's happening in your daily routine, for how you're able to focus on things, for how you're able to focus on being able to create a positive and a productive workspace, or maybe even working on some of those habits. The 6th house is certainly connected to habits and our routine and our diet. So the card that I get for that is the 6 of Wands. Interesting. Excellent card for you, Cancer. I think that this is very interesting that this is coming up right now, because certainly with Mars in Cancer, we're seeing a lot of movement on and around your ascendant or your sun. So it's certainly a boost in energy. I could see this as some of you guys finally getting up and going and making some changes and actually finding ways to integrate physical activity into your daily routine. This can certainly be a situation where you are going in the direction of being able to maybe go and find time in your day-to-day to go out and go for a walk or go for a jog or going to do something. This is also about being very busy and very energized for you to go and make some changes in the workspace. And so, yes, I know Pluto is opposing Cancer, but that's not the end of the world. I know it's a tough outer transit. But what I want to remind you guys is that any changes that you're making, and I love that it's the 6th house with the 6 of Wands, it's action. I see this also as like kind of like a homecoming card. So that's very interesting. So if you guys are trying to kind of clean up things on the home space and go back and forth between, your work and your home, those of you guys, Cancers really need to have peace and they need to have organization in order to get things done. So looking at what's going on with you guys and having some other planets that are actually playing very nicely and helping that energy any which way that you guys can get things organized and running smoothly, both on the home front as well as what's going on in the workspace, you're going to see that things will move along very nicely this month. So good job, Cancer, for getting that shell clean. Looks like it's going to be really great for you. Let's take a look now, and we're moving into Leo. So Leo, for you guys, this is your 5th house. How interesting. All right, so let's see what Leo has to offer here. All right. Leo, Leo, Leo. All right, oh, cute. The sun. So how appropriate to be getting this card right now. And the 5th house, it's like, when I think of this, I think of children. I think of children. And I think that it's pretty safe to say, with the North Node moving into Leo, that certainly living in a childlike state, it's about being able to connect to your inner child. It's about being able to maybe start having the conversation. Is now the time to be expanding. And remember, babies don't always have to be physical babies, okay? They can be fur babies. They can also be the birth of a business or a creative endeavor. But with the sun coming up for this full moon in your 5th house, is very significant for people who are trying to conceive. It's very significant for people who have been trying to conceive for some time. For those of you guys who are dealing with matters with your children or trying to wrap things up with your children, if you're seeing that also that there is going to be more of a focus on what you're working on creatively, what projects you're getting ready to launch, what finishing touches you're putting on things. And this is certainly such a beautiful card that's talking about the happiness and the joy and the childlike joy that comes with this card. So it's about really coming from a place of being heart-centered. Once again, it's about figuring out what makes you happy. Leo, you should be just like a pig rolling in mud, ecstatic this month, because that North Node, Uranus, Saturn, it can be that if you have been trying to get something up and moving, it might just certainly unlock and open for you. So take a look for that and enjoy and be in the warmth and in the energy of your heart's desire and really asking you, what do you want? Anything is possible. If you really are trying to connect to your creative divine self, then connect to it. Then be that. Then go and paint. Then go and sculpt and act and write and love and have fun. This is what's so important with the North Node moving into Leo. And so I'm hoping that Leos are starting to become to where they're able to let go a little bit and not feel like everything has to be a certain way. I get it. I am a fixed sign. I get it. I have a really good friend of mine who is a Leo, and she's seen a little bit of a bumpy path. But I think that you guys are going to see that since the nodal changes and since the eclipse, now you're going to see that whatever chaos or whatever has happened recently, now you're going to go, oh, well, there's my clarity, the sun. That's why this happened. This, and this had to go wrong for that to go right. For me to get my priorities straight, for me to realize that I can have fun and I can create and I can be divinely connected to myself. So Leos, so happy for you. Now we're going to be moving into Virgo. Virgo, this is your 4th house. How amazing. All kinds of good stuff that's going on for you. Let's take a look. So 4th house, house and home, maternal energies, your physical home, your family. Virgo, what is going on for you this month? Holy cow. A full moon in the 4th is a nice indication that things might be moving around, or you might be closing in on a home. You might be looking at going home, traveling. For some of you guys, my goodness, Sagittarius in the 4th, you may be connecting a lot with family somewhere else, or maybe looking for a new space, or finding that you're kind of in this in-between space. So many Virgos. Holy cow, there's so many Virgos here. Virgo power. So if you are feeling like you're outgrowing your space, you might be. If you feel like you need more space to do your work, or if you feel like you're contemplating, perhaps, especially with this in Sag, it's like, do I want to move there? Is it going to be best for me? Is it going to give me the space and all of the goodness that I need to be able to feel like I can rest and I'm at peace? You know, this is so important for you. So important because you may be contemplating a move. It's not happening yet, though. It's not happening quite yet. Wait just a little bit longer. We're going to see that some other things are going to be moving here soon, and so it's going to make it possible. With that Saturn going retrograde, you might be looking for homes, or you might be looking to close in on a home, and it might be somewhere else. Yes, I see it. Just closing in on our house on the lake. Oh, beautiful. So yeah, so a lot of good things are happening for you. And if it's not an actual move, you can be moving things around in your house. You could also be seeing that there could be, you know, people who are kids who are getting ready to graduate, who are leaving, you know, people who are going to be visiting, or you connecting with people perhaps even in other states or in other countries or overseas. So remember, there's the family we're born into and the family that we create. So family is not limited to your blood. Think about it. Somebody might need you and you might be visiting them. So full moon is going to be a good moon for you in the 4th house. Libra. Where you at, Libra? Guys, this is your 3rd house. So this has to do with short distance travel. This has to do with, you know, various forms of early education. This has to do with communication. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really loving Saturn in the 3rd house. I think it's really amazing, okay, for the risings or for the sun, but I'm just talking about from my experience. You know, I was not doing videos when Saturn was in Scorpio in my 2nd house. I was not comfortable speaking in front of groups of people. I was not comfortable teaching the information that I've been studying and the things that I've been learning and sharing it with other people. I was afraid. I also had this fear that there would be a lag between my brain, okay, and I'm a Sun Mercury, so I never shut up, but this lag between my brain and my mouth, with a fear that I would not be able to tell everybody what I had to say. Now with Saturn going through my 3rd house, and granted it is retrograde, but now it's like I'm on the 3rd year, and I have found that I can find my stability, I can find my grounding, I can feel confident being able to talk to people because I know that I know what I've learned, and I have Saturn to thank for that. So remember, if you guys are in the position of, you know, still working out the communication stuff, this might be a month for those of you Libras who are still trying to figure out what the path is and what they want and what they need. Now you'll be able to voice it. So really think about that, and let's go ahead and let's pull a card. All right, this is amazing. The Emperor, okay? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is everything that I just said. This is everything. This is being able to sit there and go, yes, I'm using it. Yes, I'm using it almost in a way that's not overpowering. I see that it's supporting you. It's about really kind of standing on your 2 feet and going, I know what I know, I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm good at it, and now I'm able to work with this Saturn energy, and I'm really able to voice what I want and see that it happens, and see that I have control, being able to control what you're saying. And sometimes that means shutting up, thinking about it, and saying something, because the Emperor is somebody who rules in a very positive, divine, masculine way. Remember, men's job as the divine masculine is to be that, is to be the air of intellect and fire for passion and creativity, but also to hold space for women to be women. So when we look at this, he's not overpowering. He is very direct, and he makes things happen. So I also see this as a little bit of Aries energy. And so for Libras, that's your 7th house. And so you've been seeing that Uranus has been on or around there. Now it's in the later degrees. So it's supporting you. Own it, Libras. Own what you need to talk about. This is also about making some business plans, perhaps even dealing with a boss. So really, if you're talking to superiors, you might want to really do your research and do your homework prior to doing this. So think about that. Now for Scorpios. Scorpios, where are you guys at? Here comes the Scorpies. Scorps, guys, this is your 2nd house. I don't know why you're nervous. This is not a bad thing. This is not a bad thing. 2nd house, Scorpio. This is your money, the money you make. okay? This is all of your possessions. These are your material goods. Ooh, I'm seeing all these Scorpios. Scorp Sun, Scorp Moon, all of my beautiful, sexy Scorpio risings. What do you guys need to know about this energy? 7 of Cups, okay? So when we have a full moon in your 2nd house, this is very important for you to realize that with every ending comes a beginning, so keep your eyes open. It's supported, but this is about many options. So touching on what I was saying earlier with you guys, it's what is it you want to start? What is it you want to begin? Now, remember guys, Jupiter is still in your 12th house. So what's going on is you're still having to cut through all of this energy, the confusion, the clearing out, everything that you need to let go of. But this is also about prioritizing and be able to not get lost in the clouds. And if something is not entirely clear, if you're noticing that there's some weirdness going on, you guys are very intuitive beings. Sometimes a full moon in the 2nd house is an ending in one which way you make money and a beginning in another. Now remember, there are trines, guys, so whatever is happening is supported. So if you're starting to have a hunch, an intuition, maybe perhaps you have a dream, listen up and pay attention, because that could very well be what's happening. Now, it doesn't mean that it needs to be an end of the world situation, because what's going on now is allowing you to connect to what is possible. Somebody said temptation. That's amazing. I mean, that's what this card is about also. It's, are you going to chase the big idea, or are you going to be a little bit more grounded and more conscious and really think about things before things end? Now, this can also mean that you personally are choosing to put a cap on some of your spending habits. Seeing that Saturn has been in your 2nd house has been limiting financially, but it's doing that to build you up, make you stronger. I had Saturn go through my 2nd house. I have to tell you, it was a learning experience. It was hell, but it made me really take a look at where my values lie. And it made me stronger. It made me better in terms of business, better with my money, and it made me less materialistic. So if those of you guys are going through it and learning to be, thank you, Russell, more resourceful, I encourage you not to get lost in all the potentials. Really take a look at your budgets and really kind of focus, because amazing things will happen with these trines where you can suddenly learn that you learn, lessons about money and finances, but also that, good things can come. You can see that quickly you could have some kind of money coming in, and it's how you deal with it and how you handle it that's going to help you. So good job, Scorps. Good job. But I want to buy all the crystals. You and me both, Katie. Oh my gosh, you guys should see my house. It's like a crystal den. You would think that like a fairy lives here or something. All right, so now we're going to move into Sagittarius. Sag. I'm a broke shopaholic. All right, so taking a look here now for Sagittarius. You guys, this is your moon. Give it up, give it up, give it up, Sag. I'm loving all the fire, all the bows and the arrows. Guys, congratulations. You have made it to your final full moon. I love this. I'm very excited because I know that this full moon is all about you guys being able to really step out of the shadows. I know it's been hard, okay? I don't even need to look at the chat. I know that it's been difficult. But what's going to be happening here with the moon, with the sun opposition, with what's going on with Lilith? Where are you holding yourself back? Where are you getting hung up in the external and how things look? Sag, you're spiritual as hell. And you guys don't need to doubt things. There's no reason to doubt stuff. You're your own biggest enemy. Step aside from that. Let everything go that is holding you back and holding you back from fear. Let everything go that's holding you back in any which way that's not allowing you to evolve. Please, please, please. Okay, so the sun is in your 7th house. The moon is chilling and it's hanging out in your 1st. So what does this mean? What are you guys going to be bringing? Oh, hopefully a relationship. Sag, like I said, don't block yourself. You are worthy People want you. People love you. Whether this is a friendship, whether this is a partnership, whether this is a relationship. I know it's been hard with you guys. I look at Sagittarian energy and I look at Gemini energy and I'm like, oh, it's the Bachelors of the Zodiac. But how amazing is it to have had Saturn there that showed you that you guys don't have to be afraid? How amazing is this that somebody might be coming for you and seeing you at now you're one of your most evolved forms of who and what you are. This is somebody who is an equal. This is somebody who is worthy. This is a partner. This is someone who has to offer you something. Your cups are full. The divine masculine and feminine coming together. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because here's the thing that you guys need to know. You have the capability to be two, not just one. You don't have to be on your own. And if you've had Saturn going across your ascendant or going across your sun, I know it's hard because you feel very limited and you can feel isolated, but know that someone is coming in to show you, hey, I see you. Pull another card for you guys. It's your birthday, right? Hello, strength. Again, do I need to repeat myself? Do I? I love that there's like all of these like romantic connections going on and potential hookups that are going on through the chat. I mean, that's great. But yeah, the strength card, I mean, it's basically saying, let it happen. Let it come to you. Don't fight it off. You don't have to orchestrate it. It's a good time to be connecting with other people and be partnering up. So I love that for you guys, Sag. Good for you. Cappies. Cappy caps. Let's go, guys. This is your 12th house. Let's be done with it. Let's just let it go. You know, we don't want any unexpected things going on. We don't want anything unexpected going on, but your 12th house, expect the unexpected. Y'all been going through it too with Pluto. God, you Capricorns, you strong as hell. All right, let's take a look. Like I said, 12th house, it's the house of hidden enemies. It's what is unexpected, what's going on subconsciously, what's happening behind the scenes, what needs to shift, what needs to be released. Well, the answer is you're going to have to wait. I see this as subconsciously releasing things and letting things go. Saturn in the full moon, it's potentially strength and information, and it's almost in a way like you're being connected and you're being led by something subconsciously. You need to get into the position of just saying whatever happens, happens. Okay? Whatever has to be let go has to be let go. Like I said the other day, this kept coming up so much. This is a moment of being in suspension and not reacting. It's allowing things to unfold as they may. I know there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. I love it. Kathy's saying new thinking. But here's the deal. You guys need to realize that this is that moment in between where all of a sudden you make the decision to just be and go through the lesson and learn. This is going to be the last one for a bit in regards to Saturn. You certainly want to be watching out for some shady stuff going on in the workspace. And I feel like that does need to be said because working with that Capricorn energy and also working with what's going on in your 12th, if you are noticing that there are things going on behind the scenes or you're starting to feel things are shifting, do not react. Remember, the stories we tell, the things we think, the stuff we say, it becomes reality. So if you're fearing that, you're fearing what is potentially possible. Look at James. He is just hitting up all the ladies here in the chat. He is he's getting it. Some shady stuff. I know. I've been hearing about it. And the thing is that Caps are becoming so in tune and so connected, and you guys are starting to feel it. So you're not crazy. Okay, don't think you're crazy, but yeah, roll with it. Do what you guys got to do. Just let it happen because you can't stop it. And if you start to tense up, it's going to make it harder. So don't do it. All right, so moving on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, this is your 11th house. Beautiful. All right, this is nice. Full moon Saturn. Gosh, maybe you're teaching. Maybe you're part of groups. Maybe you're doing something to be helping other people out. Maybe you're raising awareness. Maybe you're going on a trip with a group of people, or a spiritual expedition, finding a way to help other people. take a look. My wife is going to Vegas. We've got the Fool. I kept saying like that you guys might be going somewhere and doing something. So how appropriate that this is a very new beginning. Those of you guys who have been learning so much from groups, those of you guys who may be going to faraway places to potentially go somewhere and have a new experience, expect good things, you know, expect you to learn. Something is opening up that's making you see that there's so much more out there than you were aware of. So many Aquarian and Aquarian placements right now, I'm seeing them totally opening up with the Jupiter trines and things that are going on where you're seeing that you can live so much more expansively as well as within a group and not feeling so much that you are locked down and you know, doing your own thing and kind of getting stuck in your own mind. I think that it can be interesting to have Saturn going through the 11th as an Aquarius because you're being forced out of your comfort zone and you're really spending a lot of time with a lot of people. And that may not necessarily be you. It might be something that you're starting to get acclimated to. But after several years of having Saturn there, it might be really nice to be able to really feel like you're a part of a community. I know, but I think it's actually really, really good. The card was the Fool. The Fool was the card. Look at this. We still have so many people watching. You guys are freaking amazing. Let's take a look now. So the final group of people, last but not least, are my Pisces. Let's take a look here, Pisces. Okay, Pisces, this is your 10th house. Saturn is there. The moon is there. Yes, the sun is in your 4th house, but it's just basically saying you may have the opportunity to get so much stuff done that now you can take it out in the open and be like, ta-da, look what I did. Look what I've got. Whatever you're putting out there, you're pitching, you're showing what's going on with, you know, your work, your career, anything you're doing out in the open, people are going to see it and they're going to go, yes, especially after you guys have been getting, you know, getting your butts kicked with those eclipses. It's done and over with now. And I feel like you guys have really evolved. Let's take a look for what Pisces is going to be getting for their 10th house. And it is, wow, the Ace of Swords. I love that Saturn will be there with this moon because I feel like you're not really going to be able to direct your energy unless your heart is in it, unless you have the information. Look at this as an amazing opportunity for you to be able to really shine and hold the floor with this lunar transit, because anything you have to say, to put out there, if you're speaking, if you're signing contracts, especially with Jupiter, it's going to be so strong. It could very well stick for some time. If you're producing something, putting out music, putting out a book, looking at wrapping something up, all of these things are going to come with the Ace of Swords. It's about your connection to your ability to express yourself and express yourself in written form, you know, written form, music, anything that has to do with communication. Those of you guys who are also looking at having the opportunity to give some type of, I don't know, maybe you guys are going to be judging something, or maybe you guys are going to be finding that you're submitting something and waiting to hear back, or giving a demonstration or a lecture. So, oh my gosh, that's amazing for Pisces. I'm digging it. My goodness, I just feel like I don't really think there was a single card that didn't get something positive. I know that some Caps are still sitting there like, oh God. But Capricorn, remember, this is just preparing you to start tuning up your spidey senses for when Saturn goes into Capricorn. So for the most part, every single one of you guys are going to be benefiting from this moon. I ask you to really pay attention to what's going on and what's happening the next 2 weeks, because you're going to see a lot of it is going to help you set your intentions and have some ideas for what's going to be happening with this next new moon that we're going to be having in Cancer, close to the summer solstice, actually. So it'll be a very powerful day to be setting some new intentions, especially for healing. to those of you guys who want to book a reading with me, I know I've talked about this a couple times, but you can go and check out the Mystics Illuminations group. The link is here. We also had everything set up so that way you can see what's going on and what I'm going to be offering you guys for that, you know, lunar transits for the month ahead. If you want to check that out, check out the link. Of course, I will be back. I will be back. So I saw a couple people who were saying like happy birthday and things like that because they're having birthdays that are going on. So obviously, if you're having a birthday around a full moon, it's very significant. Do pay attention because wherever your sun is in your chart, that is a completion. So I'm really excited. I'm glad I got to chat with you guys. I'll be back here soon. Maybe I'll chat with Mike. Maybe I'll bring you guys some transit videos. As always, I thank you so much for being here, especially those of you guys who are on the East Coast and in other places in the world. I know that it's late. Check out the link that's it's in the chat. And I appreciate you liking. I appreciate you sharing and supporting not only me, but all of the other people who are friggin' awesome, who are on the team. So check out what they're doing. And I'm so glad to be back. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for being here and showing up. You guys are the best. This is the reason why I do this. And put real clothes on. And don't live in my pajamas and do Skype readings. I actually do this for you. So thank you so much. I will be back soon. I love you guys. And until next time, happy moonifesting.